So guys, yeah, like a lot of people are saying, 2018 is definitely going to be either a great year or a great year and a culminating year. A year that ties everything in, you know? And maybe finally a year where I get answers. I've lived for 40 years, guys, and again, it's not that, well, part of it is I can give my testimony, but basically the majority of it is, how do I explain this without sounding... Nowadays, I'm so afraid to even say one thing about my life because when I do, it comes off as me eliciting attention or, oh, she's just trying to make people feel sorry for her. And if you guys only knew. Not at all, guys. I wouldn't even know what attention was if it hit me in the face. You can't miss what you never had. Now, have I, yearned for it? Have I wanted to know what it felt like to not be hated so much? Yeah. Because honestly, guys, besides pedophiles in this world, I can't think of one person who's been hated more, and unfairly. And I mean that. I want to talk about this because it hurts me. I mean, no matter what my daughter did to me in my life, I would never turn my back on her. My son, for example, and again, my family and his family, my family didn't owe me anything, but CPS went to my family and they didn't want my baby. Like, what did he do? But again, they have their own life. They didn't have to raise my baby, but it just doesn't make sense to me, guys. The things that go on in this world. A story I just read about a guy that my best friend sent me, a guy rigged his door just right to electrocute his pregnant girlfriend. Who does these things? But it happens. People putting babies in microwaves. So, you know, things like that. Look at what happened in Vegas. You know, the mass shootings, the horrible things that happen in this world. So, is it of any wonder where we have things like churches today taking the lowest of low people? Like, okay, it's an ongoing thing. This is what I've really, an aha moment has hit me. Think about it, guys. And sorry, churches, but I'm calling you out. You take us people who are hated by society and loathed and down and out, and you keep us down and out. You keep us downtrodden. You don't want to see us succeed, and I'm going to tell you why. Without us, you wouldn't be getting your money. Think about it. The more people out there actually feel like we're losers or we gave up on ourselves or we need help or whatever, people are going to start shelling out money and donations to you to help us. Wow, this is just so crazy what I'm realizing, guys. So here's the deal. I don't even really need to call these churches out. They know what they're doing, and shame on them because, and again, not all churches are this way, but in the end, the truth will come out in the end. And what's really sad is there are so many people who have actually been basically brainwashed into believing that they're doing what's right and they're following a church that's right when they're not. You know, what's real scary or real sad is the fact that most of these churches today are the wolves in sheep's clothing, not who people typically look at. Like, people typically look at a homeless person or a low-life degenerate as a wolf in sheep's clothing, but they're so far off. So far removed from the truth. And I wonder about these people who, you know, run the churches and stuff like this, who say one thing, but then are basically spouting off about wanting to be a millionaire and prosperity gospel, when it makes it very obvious what they're about. The more people they can brainwash, the more people they can, you know, basically lure in with their, you know, video recorders and recordings and how good we can make it look so that we can get people to donate. I mean, do you guys not see, like, how evil that is? How evil that is. To put money in what? Your pocket? To better what? For what? You're not helping anybody. You're not. And again, I'm not going to say it's going to make me look bad. I'm not calling out, but they know what they're doing. You know, I think half the time, even people in this world, when Jesus said, come follow me, leave all behind and follow me, there's a reason why a lot of priests take that vow of poverty. It's not because they want to do without. It's because they want to be more like Jesus. And again, I actually didn't do it by choice, but it happened to me. And even though I got that bike back today, like I said, you know, it's just stuff, guys. Everything in my world, everything in my life is stuff. Don't you guys see that? Gosh, I feel like I'm just talking in circles and talking to hear myself talk. I've realized from a very, very early age, guys, like, there are things that happened to me as a little girl that I didn't bring upon myself. And the evil, like, people get jealous. Like, people approach me and have just, like, basically slapped me right in the face after I've done something so nice for them. Like, I just can't comprehend that. But, you know, maybe it wasn't meant for me to comprehend. Just do as God asks. This is the way I look at it. God, has this huge, gumball machine or candy machine, and he gives us the quarters to put in there. And it's up to us, or it's up to God, when we put that quarter in there, just how much candy we get. Or, people might get more, people might get less. That's what I equate it to. A lot of churches don't like, messengers like me, because I speak the truth. And I might actually bring some things to light that they don't want other people knowing about, because then, think about it, guys, they're losing out on their money. Again. And I'm telling you this right now, guys, okay? I challenge you, all you churches out there, could you do it without the funding, without your tithes, without your money? No, I don't think you could. So you want to sit here and tell me that your church isn't about money? How is it not? Does all the money that you get just go strictly into, feeding the homeless on some of these churches? No, because a lot of these churches get food that's a month or 2 months expired. They're not paying for it. Again, it goes back to what I was saying, guys. How sad is that? It's almost like a lot of these churches are people that claim to help or care. They're just using something like, we'll say, down and destitute, dirty dogs and cats in the streets that get abused. They use things like that. Things that basically pull on people's heartstrings. They've done their research. They've realized what, brings in the money. Doesn't anybody see how backwards that is? How sad that is? And, I think deep down these people that run these churches, or these mega churches, or anything else for that matter, they're human, guys. Like, look at, I was raised Catholic, and the everyone wants to believe that all Catholic, priests molest children. That's not true, or little boys, because a few of them did, okay? And that was happening in churches, but there's things going on much worse. Like I said, they're exploiting people like me to make money. And they don't want someone like me who's homeless to figure this all out. But God opened my eyes, guys. And I'm going to blow the whistle. I'm going to let people know. But, they already know. And I think a lot of these men of the cloth, or men that claim to be prophets or inspired by God, I think that they were in the beginning, or they meant well, or they meant to go on the right path. But once they started getting a congregation, or they started, it makes their head big, basically. Think about it. They're up in that pulpit. They're speaking. They're, they got all these people, listening to them. It does something to your head, Same with me running a company. I mean, I had pimps working for me, guys, back in the day. Like, oh my goodness. I ran an escort service, guys, okay? It does something to your head. Same with the churches, guys. It does something to their head. And then these people, become loyal and start paying them money, and, oh, so-and-so said this or that, and, we're going to tell you what she said, because it's just a big mess, guys. That's not love. It's not love. Turning, if you guys or you churches are going to turn away people like me who are so hungry, they're having to panhandle or find food out of dumpsters or beg people for food, when you're basically using us and exploiting us to get more money in your pocket, then I don't think you should put so many restrictions on the times and days and when you take care of us. Heck, you should be catering to us. Isn't that sad, guys? And it's going on the internet now, too. People are taking things like, and doing like what's called homeless studies, or social experiments is what they claim it, but they're not real ones. So sad. I just feel so sick, so sad right now, guys, because I really am a good person. And again, once again, Sandy, or the few people out there, do you know how few, like, my whole life. And again, it comes from, and I don't understand it. Like, somebody will be attacking me, like, physically or verbally or emotionally, and then somebody else will chime in and do it too. Or, like, I've never had anyone stand up for me. Like, I've always wanted that. I mean, how sad is it that I've had to say, hey, I'll pay you $5 if you pretend to be my friend? I'm embarrassed to admit that, but I've done that, guys. How pathetic is that? That's okay. That's what this world's about. So again, shame on all of you. Because guess what's going to happen? It's going to be just like in the Bible. I'm Lazarus. Okay, I don't have leprosy, but I have leprosy. You know what I'm saying? People don't see me. People treat me the way Lazarus was treated. And what happened? The very people that are shunning me, that are mistreating me, that are denying me, are going to be the very people that are begging and groveling at my feet. The only difference is I will help them, unlike them helping me. So why did I do these videos? Again, I don't care what any of you think or what your opinions are. I'm doing them because I will not give up, and I will do this till the day I die. I even love my sworn enemies, and I mean that. For those of you who do know me, I'm not fake, and yes, I've had drug addictions, drug problems. I've even relapsed. I've done beer. I've drank beer. I just recently gave up soda. But why does everybody only want to look at the negative things that I've done in my life? Even the one thing that makes me happy, karaoke, not one person, not one of you has supported me. And that makes me sad. But again, I'm used to it. Come on, guys. You don't know how to download an app. You don't know how to support me. I've never been supported. It's okay. So, Christine, you for bringing me food. Sandy, for all you've done, Cass. Phantom, you and your wife. When you got your own issues and your own medical problems, and you've done so much. Guys, wake up before it's too late. Who cares what you think about me? Who cares what you think about the neighbor next door? Let's all work together. I don't want to see one person suffer. Please, it's so important. None of this, guys, matters. It's up there that matters. Please. I'm begging you. Swallow your pride and do what's right. You know what's right. You know what's right. God bless. Peace out. And I hope a lot of you actually listen to them this time. Love you all. Bye.